Hey viewers! Today we'll explore quite a juicy collection of disturbing, hilarious, and embarrassing secrets people have known about their exes. Let's spill the beans. What embarrassing secrets do you know about your exes?
One of my exes fell for the Nigerian prince email spam when we were in college and ended up owing the bank $20,000.
High school boyfriend. Every time he pooped, he would only wipe once, not look, and call it good. No be it. Found out after 18 months of dating. Also one who would go to the bathroom after waking up every morning, hotbox weed while taking a shit, jerk off to porn on his phone while still on the toilet, then not wipe or flush and get into an as hot as he could stand shower. He would just let the water run over him and then loofah away the rest. There was an exhaust fan in the bathroom, but he never used it. Just poop, weed, and extremely high humidity in the air. He never finished when we had sex, and I'm pretty sure it was because he was conditioned to only orgasm while smelling his own shit in a tropical environment. There were so many reasons to not be with that guy, but this is the most disgusting one. He also only ate Taco Bell, frozen pizzas, and Doritos.
So I was sitting in my living room on my phone while he was in the bathroom going number 2. Or trying to. He's in there for, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe, when I hear the door creak open slightly and my name being called very faintly. I go over concerned asking if he's alright, and he looks me dead in the eyes and asks, "Hey, do you have a pad?" Now, I know this boy does not have the parts that typically need those, so I'm like, sure, why? He told me was so constipated that he ended up bleeding back there, and it wouldn't stop. I'm trying not to laugh because what? But also that does sound alarming, so I give him the pad. I show him how to put it on and everything. I use the ones with wing flaps, so there were a few leg hair casualties. An hour or two goes by and he gets up to try again. He then calls me in to tell me he thinks it stopped, but asks if he should be worried about the amount of blood lost. He shows me the pad. Home BOI left a quinoa-sized drop on the pad and asked me if he needed to go to urgent care. I'll never forget that day. My ex-husband went to the bathroom in the dark. He tried using a tube of hemorrhoid cream, but also on the bathroom counter was some green crackle Halloween makeup. Apparently, he really lathered it on. Told me in the morning, and I almost died laughing. It was a joke for years. I should text him a reminder.
He used to tell people he was in the military and sometimes used the word veteran. He was kicked out of boot camp for getting drunk while on some sort of duty.
My ex did this but went one further and was never even at boot camp. Told all these horror stories about being in Afghanistan and having to shoot women and kids. The best part was his own mother outing him. He'd never even applied for the military. Absolute fucking loser.
From back in high school. He used to jack off at the end of his bed onto his navy blue carpet. The carpet was bleached orange from years of it.
He's weird, full on weird. Wanted me to have sex with his son when he gets older. Edit, oh yeah, when he was a teenager or a little younger to grope his stepmother's breasts.
My ex had really bad external hemorrhoids. There were certain positions we would do for BJs, and I would see full on the severity of them. No wonder he didn't like it when I poked his butt. They would almost touch my forehead. It looked like if you made a fist and tried to jam all your fingers through at one end to the over end, and you could see a good portion of your fingertips. I felt bad for him. He was too nervous to go to doctor about it. He cheated on me with my sister. I hope the hemorrhoids got worse.
What a roller coaster of revelations. These tales serve as a reminder that sometimes the truth really is more bizarre than anything we could dream up. It's like peeking into a secret world of quirks, mishaps, and the occasional downright absurdity of human behavior. Let's continue.
My ex got high and cut his dick open, claiming something was inside of it. I had to take him to the ER at 4 a.m. because it wouldn't stop bleeding. That was fun to soberly explain to the doctor.
He farted before we went for a shower and a tiny poop fell out and onto the bathroom mat.
Actual story I received from his most recent ex. My ex-husband's last fiancée had a daughter and she lived in a different state. One night, she was crying because she missed her daughter and he proceeded to jack off right next to her.
My ex was bored one night at work and decided to take a print of his ass on the copy machine. He broke it. What he didn't know was that it was caught on camera. They fired him the next day. We were parents of a newborn.
That his mom cuts his toenails for him.
I was with this guy for 4 years. He used to dress up in my clothes, shorts, dresses, etc., wear my headband, then walk around the house talking out loud to someone imaginary when there wasn't anyone home. I walked in on him one day when I came home early from college. Another ex, after we broke up, had a thing for his sister. She was his type. They used to make out at night after their parents fell asleep. They did handsy stuff when everyone was around for fun. They eventually slept together and did so for 3 years until his sister started going to college. Yes, she was only 16 when he was 22.
That he chatted up a 15-year-old on Snapchat when he was in his 30s. Showed me some of their chats and they were quite suggestive. No clue what happened there, but I reported him to the local police before leaving.
Hey babe, check out these sexy convos with this minor I had one time.
He went out to the movies with his ex and her mom and dad. His ex gave him a handjob during the movie. He accidentally came on his ex's mother, who was sitting in the row in front of him.
My ex was an alcoholic and so he often would pee the bed while we slept. He never brushed his teeth. He would also pee in empty liquor bottles and store them in his dresser. He was so messy when drunk and did some embarrassing things. I would look through his phone to find he messaged girls constantly behind my back, but they rejected him. His routine turned into wake up, drink, pass out, repeat. I tried so many times to help him stay sober, but I couldn't do it anymore as the bottle came first. Unfortunately stayed for 5 years as it was my first relationship, but I am glad I got out. Yikes.
Goodness gracious. These stories definitely take the cake for being beyond belief. We can't even dare assume that they can't get any wilder. Back to the comments.
He had only one pair of socks and wore them every day without washing them. He worked as a mechanic. I have no idea how he didn't have some kind of foot fungus or trench foot. He refuses to wash his socks except once a week because his roommate would steal them, supposedly. His feet, shoes, and obviously socks reeked.
Ex-boyfriend would only shower like once a week at most, which I always thought was disgusting because she would sleep around but not shower in between partners. Went with Planned Parenthood with her the morning following a hookup where the condom fell off. She decided to get an IUD/Plan B. She told me when they were putting in the IUD they found an old tampon in there. I don't know how she managed to have sex with a dude without ever noticing it was in there.
My ex openly admitted to having a crush on my friend's 16 to 17-year-old cousin, and I caught him liking pics of her tagged with my friend on Facebook. My ex, 26, is so fucking creepy. He met the cousin at my 24th B-day and said, quote, "She was the most attractive woman at the party, apart from me of course." He knew her age.
That he likes to dress up as a cat while having sex.
Recent ex. He's had a crush on his sister and probably still does. He couldn't stop comparing me to her, saying how she is hot, all the guys want her, she's the ideal mother figure for his future children. He says he's hot too and that everyone looks at him when he walks by. But I'm not that hot and I'm not what he envisions as the mother of his future children. First ex. He wants to live with his mom forever and slept in the same bed as her until age 16 even though he had his own room and bed. His dad would sleep elsewhere. He says she's the most beautiful woman in the world and calls her for any little issue he has, like if he has a stomachache while we're on vacation even though I'm a nurse. He'll call her while we're having a nice dinner on vacation. His mom shops for all his clothes and he can't stay out past 9 p.m. despite being 23 years old at the time. He has to ask his mom for permission for anything, even to sleep over at my place. His mom knows how to drive, but once he turned 16, she decided to stop driving and make him drive her everywhere, including to 3 different grocery stores every Sunday and 2 hours away to go shopping. He and his mom go out all the time, leaving his dad at home.
He likes incest porn and his sister is now nonverbal from some trauma that they can't identify. It's why he settled his divorce real quick and let his ex-wife make all the decisions for their kids. Allegedly, of course.
He's gay. He knew he was all of his life. He had an ex-wife when he met me. A couple of months into the relationship, I knew something was up. Also, knew he was attracted to his work buddy, a bisexual married to a woman. I told him that I needed the truth from him, and our connection was good enough that he fessed up. He was never bi but gay and knew since he was a teen. I was pretty sure that was the end of the relationship, but he asked me not to end it because he was truly lonely. We certainly wasn't physical anymore, but when the thing with the coworker took off with his wife's blessing, so did I. We were still friends, but it fizzled out as he started to live his truth. I was the only person beside coworker that knew though. This was over 20 years ago. Fast forward to 2018 and someone shared a clip of his cat. Featured in it was him, his wife and their toddler.
These are utterly bizarre. It's a world where reality is stranger than fiction. Just when you think you've heard it all, the next comments will surprise you. That he comes underneath his blankets, sleep in them, and repeats every day until his mom washes his sheets. Laughing my freaking ass off. Damn, that high school boyfriend was so gross.
That the only reason he got his college degree is because I wrote his last paper for him.
He called all his exes crazy. We all know who the real crazy one here.
I'm a lesbian. I couldn't figure out why her down below smelled so rancid that she could be fully clothed and I'd still smell her. I felt bad and assumed it was a medical issue. Turns out she didn't know she was supposed to wash there. She didn't even get close. I was wondering why she always smelled like period blood. I didn't learn this until we showered together.
He didn't know he had to wash his ass every time he took a shower before he was around 18 years old. I had to teach him. He'd pick his nose very often and wipe on his hand.
My last ex hooked up with a male coworker. Guess he was bi-curious. He would die if I ever told anyone, so I never have, until now. LOL. Even though he cheated on me, I've kept his secret for 10 years.
My ex told me one time that he used to have sex with men when he was horny and wasn't in a relationship / a woman wasn't available. He cheated on me as well, and I've kept this secret too. LOL. Interesting how many bi-curious men are out there but would die if their secret got out.
He confessed after we broke up he stole panties from random women in the laundry mat at our apartment complex. When he gets drunk, he pees in his sleep.
Oh, I have a bunch, and a very long memory. C. Arrested at 16 for attempting to hide in a women's locker room at a gym so he could peep at naked ladies. J. Chronic constipation landed him a prolapsed rectum at one point. M. Shortly after we broke up, he tried to mail order a bride from Eastern Europe and got scammed hard, and he came to me thinking I might sympathize. He had a history of light bestiality as a teen. J2. A registered sex offender for statutory when his underage girlfriend's mom found out about their relationship. S. Peed in Gatorade bottles at his computer so he wouldn't have to interrupt his gaming sessions, rarely disposed of them. B. Did not file or pay taxes for years. I know he tried to hide it from his next girlfriend for a while, but she's his wife now, so I hope she knows. C2. Finds women's MMA matches to be so stimulating that he can't watch them in public.
That's quite the collection of secrets. These anecdotes are so shocking that it feels illegal to know them. Stick around for the remaining bits.
My first boyfriend was strictly against butt stuff, because it's gay. Against smoking and drugs. Then suddenly when we broke up, I left him. I found a butt plug and bong while cleaning up my stuff from our apartment. Oh, and I heard he started smoking too. My more recent ex was obsessively washing himself. Like he would take a long hot shower every time he went to toilet, and would wash his butt and colon all the way he could reach. He had super strong disgust towards shit. Ironic thing is, he had a huge ass fetish. He also liked to wear feminine clothes and apparel, and while masked in a convention he dressed up as a woman. We were almost same size so he would borrow my things. Oh, and once when I was blowing him, doing this twirly thing with my tongue, he peed in my goddamn mouth. He apparently thought he was coming, and, on the hindsight, I probably should have taken that as a cue to throw him out. Could have saved myself so much trouble.
I was dating a guy who would hang at my place and use my computer while I was at work. One day, I checked my internet history and saw that he was visiting porn sites. I have no issue with porn, so I clicked a link and couldn't understand what was up with this weird purple penis, and then I realized I was looking at bestiality porn. I noped the fuck out of that.
He slept with his gay boss in order to get a promotion that never came.
I've shared this one a lot, but it never gets old. X was aggressively having sex with me. He very suddenly stopped and pulled out. He turned to me and said, "Sorry, I was getting mad. I was thinking about my dad." Didn't even dawn on him how weird that was until he saw my facial expression. My first boyfriend also admitted to me he regularly watched preschool TV programs. We were about 15 to 16 years old.
He doesn't think space is real.
My ex wanted me to poop in his mouth.
My ex-husband, he would dress like a girl and walk around the house till I saw what he was doing when I wasn't home, and he made a Facebook account as a girl and talks to men like he want them to fuck him. Then I found that he was sending pics of me naked to them saying it was him.
My ex experimented with a guy friend for 2 years as a young teen to figure out if he was gay or not. He claims he isn't. Here's another one. When he was 27, he met a 16-year-old and groomed her. On her 18th birthday, he asked her out. Poor girl is still with him 7 years later. She's 24 and he's 35 now.
He has a foot fetish. Okay, not that bad, but he also got into smelling my armpits. Thing is, he preferred when they were super ripe. Like, we'd just been drinking the night before and gone all day without showering because we're too hungover and it was super smelly. I'd never seen anyone get so turned on by anything before, and the fact that it was my very stinky BO. Man. He also had a wart on his finger when we met, likely because of aforementioned foot fetish. Arsehole didn't even tell me about it before we were sexually active. I noticed it and asked him what it was. He thought it was a wart, said he'd had it for years. He only went to the doctor to get it treated after I told him he's not allowed to touch me unless he does so. I still can't believe I let this guy fuck up my life.
We've explored some of the most absurd, unexpected, disturbing, and mostly embarrassing secrets people have shared about their exes. Sometimes there are some things that seem too wild to be true, but as we've seen, reality often surpasses imagination. Do you have an embarrassing secret about your ex that you're itching to tell? Share it with us in the comments.